Hi everyone, Andrea Renee here, guest hosting for IGN Access. You know this guy, it's Rod Fergusson. Thank you so much for chatting with me.
Happy to do it.
We asked you guys to send us questions to Aaron Greenberg about Gears of War 4, but we know that Rod's the expert here. So keep using that hashtag IGN Access, but let's go ahead and get started with your questions. They want to know, will stability ever return to Sarah, or will they live in constant apocalypse?
It is a terrible planet to live on, apparently. It's just monsters all the time. Yeah, it was one of those things we had to think about when we were doing the next game. It was like, how do we return the threat? And we talked about leaving the planet, we talked about doing a prequel and all this stuff, and we just decided, no, we need to stay on Sarah because we want to get those touchstones to the past, seeing people like Marcus Phoenix return.
I know, he's all gray now.
I know, old man Marcus, it's great. And so we kept it on Sarah, but it's 25 years later for the next generation of a gear. So I don't know if we'll ever get stability, at least if I have anything to say about it.
Well, I mean, it kind of is like the bedrock for that whole franchise, I would say.
Yeah, it's great having a place that's like Earth but not, so you can do stuff that's familiar and grounded, but at the same time you can do crazy stuff like having monsters. So it's a nice playground to play in.
Absolutely. All right, our next tweet is from @WWEddie1. What can we expect from campaign, and are there any new surprises for MP?
Wow, two-part question. First part about the campaign. I mean, our big thing is the co-op campaign that we're trying to bring back to being more tense and more private and intimate. Like with Gears 1, 2, and 3, it got bigger and bigger and bigger. Gears 1 was an incursion behind enemy lines, 2 was a war, and then 3 was fighting for the whole planet. And we just didn't want to go now we're going to go bigger. It's a galaxy game, like that kind of thing. So we really wanted to bring it all back. And so we brought it down to 2-player co-op, and we brought it down to this really intimate story, these 3 characters trying to survive a night on Sarah. And it's really meant to return to that tension that was there for Gears 1. And so that's kind of what you expect the campaign. Part 2, surprises for multiplayer. I mean, hopefully people saw my tweet about the visual differences that are happening in multiplayer. We have lots of modes still coming, lots of great maps, and there's a lot of surprises still to come.
Well, speaking of modes still to come, we saw a little prompt on screen during the press conference, but @DanTheBlade24 wants to know, will Hoard be returning?
Yeah, obviously we said, all new Hoard. Hoard 3.0 is back, and for us it's really great because one of the things I really wanted to do I love Hoard in Gears 3, but it kind of became more of a tower defense game. You kind of had like vending machines.
But I like that part.
I know, I do too, but it became a little bit of like insert coin, get fortification. And what I loved about Gears 2 Hoard was that sort of emergent gameplay, the planting of the shield, the planting of the grenades, they're really scrambling to different parts of the map. And so that's what I really wanted out of Hoard 3.0 for Gears 4 was this idea of return to emergent gameplay. So to not be so fixed in where you build stuff. And even though that allowed us at the time to sort of customize the experience, now we're just creating a sandbox for Hoard now and just letting the players kind of figure it out.
So you had mentioned about making the campaign a little bit more of an intimate experience.
Right.
So @I'mBlackSheep wants to know, will there be split screen couch co-op?
Yes, absolutely. Split screen and everything. You can play split screen on in multiplayer, in campaign, and Hoard. You'll be able to do couch co-op and all of that. And what's great with our co-op now is that you're able to do the cross-play. So whether it's playing the co-op campaign, co-op versus, or the Hoard, you can play between Windows 10 and Xbox One. Cross-play, so it's great fun.
But what if I've never played Gears of War? @Joss3343. I know, right? Apparently people out there haven't. And they want to know, can you play Gears of War 4 without having played the first 3?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the great thing about starting over, like having this new generation of hero at JD Phoenix, is that you actually have this sort of new beginning. It's the beginning of a new saga. So if you've never played Gears before, now is absolutely the time to get in. And what's great is for a limited time, when Gear 4 comes out, we're actually including all the 360 games. So you can play 1, 2, 3 in Judgment, get caught up if you want to, but really you can start with 4.
Well, I think you've got your answer right there. Rod, thank you so much for chatting with me today. We want to hear what you guys think about Gears of War 4. Leave us a comment below or use that hashtag IGN Access, and keep it here at IGN for all of the E3 access.